Welcome back to the 10th floor. It's me, Matt.
Hi, everybody, it's Kat.
Come on out of that waiting room, folks. Get
Me
on
back.
out of this elevator. We're going all, hey, look at you. We're going all the way up to the 10th floor. And it's not just us as always, Mom. Chandra's here. Kelly is here. Keita is here. Jeannie, hello, Jeannie. And my phone just popped up with a notification. Now live, 10th floor podcasts. So hopefully we're going to get a lot of other people climbing in, going
If
up
you
to the 10th floor.
subscribe, the phone will do that for
If you have notifications turned on, if you're subscribed, then yes, anytime a YouTuber that you follow puts up a video or goes live, definitely when they go live, you're going to get a little notification saying join them. So
And then you shall or shall not.
and then it's up to you whether or not you want to click it. But you'll know. You'll know. We're here. Hi.
Hey, guys, happy Super Bowl Sunday, if you care.
If you
Game comes
care.
on.
Yes. Chandra was just asking, are you
About
Team
3 hours,
Chiefs or Team Eagles?
Yeah.
See, look at that. Like I said, a little notification and boom, Queen of the South is here. Boom, Michelle is here. Boom, Sandy is here.
Absolutely, because they got their notification.
Boom, we're on. We're going up to the 10th floor. We're going to go get off the elevator. You turn to the left, you can see Brad saying, Cyrus, what are you doing here? You got to leave the hospital. You've been banned, sucker.
Cyrus is, well, let's just pop off with Cyrus. Well, what do you see what do you see to the right of you, okay?
Oh, when
That was,
you see over the right, you see actually Isaiah staring a hole through Sidwell. And Jordan going, ooh, I could be a cop. Ooh, I could do cop stuff.
yeah.
Let me do cop things.
You know what?
Hi, Lara.
She's a better cop when she's not a cop.
Aren't they all better cops when they're not cops?
It's true.
So yeah, we got me. Ooh, I can be undercover. It's dangerous, but if he doesn't think the cops are after them because I'm not a cop.
And she drew this point twice, and it's correct. He likes me.
And he likes me. And then Lucy would be like, oh, well, he likes me. Ta.
But you're Lucy. Well, Lucy, she filled a need for Jens. You know, he needed someone to give to him around town.
Yeah.
Kind of, show him the spots.
Great,
Talk
now
about
that
the
you've
different families.
introduced
Talk about
me.
the different powerhouses. Pick her brain.
And now that
And
you've introduced me to all of the movers and shakers.
what's he been doing ever since? He's been talking to everybody one by one. No
Oh,
Sonny Corinthos yet, though.
no. I guess as time goes on, it becomes more and more obvious that Sidwell was indeed the one that blew up Sonny's penthouse.
Also know Jason, and Jason should know that Jens is now surfaced and he's talking to people, and he needs to hightail it back home.
Yeah, that's the thing. So all this stuff is happening with Jason out of town.
Yes.
So he's in Germany with Michael or something like that.
Yes.
And so Sidwell's in town, and we're finding out all of this stuff about Cyrus, and people are telling Danny that his mom was killed, and Jason's not around for any of this. So it's kind of like almost taking advantage of the fact that he's not there in order to avoid the wrath of Jason Morgan.
Yeah.
Well, Chandra's glad that Jordan has a storyline.
Yes, that is awesome. I like it. I like her being undercover and all that.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because she's warming up to do this whole Sidwell thing when Cyrus is right there, and she has such a history with Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to rope her into that or not, or if she's going to just stay in Sidwell world, while Josslyn, Lucky, Liz, and other people handle the Cyrus half of things.
Yeah.
I don't know, because in times past, in history of General Hospital, especially when we've been doing the podcast, they have these large stories that are playing, and then when Chris and Dan were the writers, they would blow them off at the same time. Like we would have the big blow off week in which every story kind of hit their climax at the same time.
It doesn't, yeah, but it doesn't feel very February sweepish or anything. Not really.
No. I don't know if we're doing any sweeps right now or anything, but I wonder, is the whole Drew thing and Sidwell and Cyrus all going to hit at the same time, or are we going to get a climax and then a climax and then a climax? I don't know. Because they could easily, down the line, not right now, but down the line, they could easily have Sidwell and Cyrus have a meeting and figure out what to do together. Yeah. That's horrible.
I really think that the story of Cyrus is going to be coming to a close shortly.
I don't think he's finishing 2025 still on the cast.
No, I don't even think he might even see summertime.
Oh, well, I mean, we're getting...
Have you noticed how googly-eyed mad he is now?
He is definitely, he had found a path forward where he could still feel important and powerful and still be basically God.
Yes.
Because that's what he was before.
He has now crossed over into a world of madness.
Yeah.
What happened to Cyrus? He quietly went mad.
He never went unmad. He's always been mad.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't have that that veneer of nobody knowing. Like, he had been able to be the angel of mercy, which is something they talked about specifically. Oh, when somebody takes out patients, they consider themselves maybe an angel of mercy.
Yeah.
So
he's doing somehow that's being really out there. That's being really out there.
I mean,
he's convinced himself he is the arm of God.
Yes, but I think that there are plenty of people out there that have convinced themselves in not murderous ways that they might be the arm or the finger or the eyes or the judgment of God.
Yeah.
Without actually being it.
They just don't stick people with digitalis all the time.
Yeah. That's exactly it. But, maybe they're doing something with money. Maybe they're doing something with their ministry. Maybe they're doing something that isn't for the good of their flock, necessarily. Or maybe they see it as good for their flock, but also just really good for them.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really gotten Cyrus explaining this at all yet. We've just gotten him being mad over the fact that he's being found out.
Yeah, and you know who's in his crosshair?
Everybody.
Everybody, but Elizabeth better hide, I tell you.
Well, Elizabeth was the suspect, and now she's not.
Now she's not, and when he went to Turning Woods and got turned away at Turning Woods, he pretty much blamed all of that, he pretty much blamed all of his dismissal from Turning Woods on Elizabeth being there and talking to them.
Well,
but more so than Lucky. More Elizabeth.
He's not related to Elizabeth, and that might have something to do with it.
But I'm just saying, if he's got a hit list, she's on top of it. She better stay upright, not have to be in a hospital bed, not even for a moment, because that seems how he likes to take y'all out. However, I think that we're going to see something else of Cyrus. We're going to see some crazy, wacky, over-the-top thing with Cyrus, and I cannot wait.
I'm looking forward to him speechifying.
Place in that cabin.
Oh, yes. It's going to all lead up to the cabin where we find out that Austin Gatlin-Holt is actually alive.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Poor Dex.
So, yeah, if anybody joined Angela's chit-chat yesterday, her live soap Zoom, in which she brought the spoilers, it's one that we've been talking about a long time here on the 10th floor. Is Dex really dead, or is there something else at play?
Yeah.
Well, I do have a simple question about that, though. I wasn't at the Zoom, but it was a question. No. It has a question that's been asked several times over, so it's not a new one.
And there is another spoiler that I have now recalled that I cannot reveal because Angela will be revealing it on Monday night, I believe.
Okay, well, join Suds in the Squared Circle if you want the big GH spoiler coming up. Who knows if it's true? It probably is. So Evan Hofer, who plays Dex, or played Dex, he's still doing those coastal entertainment interview things, Zoom interview things. He's got one coming up. I think he's going to be doing it with Chase or something.
And from what I understand, his name is still on the credits.
Is it? Interesting. Now that's interesting.
I didn't know that.
But then again, we had Nina Reeves up there for the longest time, and she was Nina Corinthos for like 2 years. Regardless, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So he's still doing the Coastal Entertainment thing, and he did a preview, a little Instagram reel thing with, I think it's with Chase, because that's who his interview partner is for this one that's coming up.
Uh-huh.
But it's like they filmed it in a dressing room. Mm-hmm. And I thought, is he just going back to the studio to film an Instagram reel with Chase? Or is there a reason for this man still being in a dressing room of General Hospital? I don't know.
Who knows, right?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Chandra says that they're all in Eterna.
Well, what about Eterna?
Chandra says that everybody that Cyrus is off is in Eterna. So Sam's in Eterna, and you know, there's this random old lady from before. She's in Eterna.
And Dr. David Hayward's down there with them, and he's keeping them all alive.
No, I can see Dr. David Hayward being in this cabin. You know, Cyrus shows up with a grocery bag, you know, once every couple of weeks, and it's food for Dr. David Hayward and Austin Gatlin-Holt.
Well, yeah, something cool is going to happen in that cabin, because they just have shown the door a couple of times now.
Yes.
Melinda, it's going to be awesome.
Melinda agrees that Dex is not dead. I mean, Josslyn will be really happy. So there's only...
Why is it? Shall we change the subject a little bit? I thought about something with Josslyn.
Well, just 1 second, because I just gotta finish this statement here, which is the only way Dex is still alive is one of two things. One, he's Jack Brennan's son, or he's Cyrus's son. I don't know why he would be digitalized and then saved if he wasn't related in some way to either a Jack or a Cyrus. Now he can't really...
The only reason why to have Dex to indeed not be dead is that there would be some big reveal of something, like you said.
Yeah, he would have to be the son of the big launching point for the future of Dex. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That'd be something. Well, Cyrus is bringing somebody something though. Mm-hmm. He's definitely, because I don't know why he'd show up with a bag of stuff. Mm-hmm. Every couple of weeks if it wasn't for somebody that wasn't him.
Right.
It's not like he's got some sort of bunker.
Mm-hmm.
Or does he? We don't know, Mom.
Or does he?
We don't know. Okay, so you were thinking about Joss. Do you remember what your point was? No, it's gone.
Yes.
Welcome to podcast.
Why does Jack knew Jack, why does Jack have so much interest in Josslyn?
Well, see the future.
He is just too interested in her, and not interested in like, hey, look at that, not like that. He looks at Carly like that.
No. He sees
along other things.
Allow me to use a previous Jack voice. I see a future with this one. Just gotta cut her jib. If only the WSB had gotten their hands on Carly when she was that young. Just imagine the agent she would have been. Hello, Melissa. Melissa says Dex Cassadine. As I just explained, Melissa, that wouldn't make any sense, okay?
Dex Cassadine.
That wouldn't make any sense. Get your theories right, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. How you doing?
Hi, Melissa. She's over there being loud.
Anyway, it just seems to be so interested in her.
I think that he just sees like a particular energy, a particular gumption.
Or he almost seems like he wants to be like I don't know, like a mentor to her.
If we get Jack as actually Joss's uncle Jerry, I'm gonna be angry. I gotta be honest. I will be angry. If Jack Brennan is actually Jerry Jacks, I would be so annoyed.
That he's actually Uncle Jerry Jacks.
I
That would be
I would
weird.
be so annoyed. So
But
sincerely annoyed. Don't do this, GH.
but it's soapy, Matt.
I know it's soapy, but we don't
But
need
it's
a
soapy.
third Jerry Jacks.
No, and I really like that other dude that always plays Jerry.
Yeah, Sebastian Roche or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. No, we don't. Plus, New Jack is an Australian.
That's the thing that I miss about him the most,
Is the accent?
is he does not have an accent.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack had, I wasn't crazy about the character of Jack, especially when he first came on. Him and Kate's kind of were in the same bucket for me in the beginning.
They absolutely were. That's why they.
You
I mean,
know?
they were both Johns at the time too.
Yeah. And then, Kate's became more irritating
Uh huh. He
and
became very deadly.
and Jack became more interesting. He had I liked his accent, and he also had some kind of like sparkle charm about him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find him I didn't find him all that handsome,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you can have an it
Yeah, I
factor
hear you.
and not be gorgeous. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think that's what he had. I don't see that with a new guy yet.
no.
I missed the fact that they didn't choose someone with an accent or have someone put one on. Either
I
way.
would say it's they didn't continue with the accent. Maybe for one of two reasons. Number one, they cast somebody who doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And as we have seen, other than Lois, we tried to get
Yeah.
away from accents, and then I don't know what happened with the Rena Sofer thing, but she's totally back to being Lois again.
Yeah, she is.
But
So
Marty isn't, Southern all the time. He's, it's very coin flip as to what Michael E. Knight wants to do on the particular day, it seems.
exactly. Where it used to be and it part of his phrasing, now it's a word here and a word there. You know? It's a
So,
word here, a word there that
yeah.
sounds kind of southern where it used to be a
Yeah.
phrase.
But then again, like I know people who do that all the time, and her name is Mom. So
Yeah, yeah.
maybe that's just what he's pulling. Maybe Michael E. Knight just has Southern roots, and every once in a while things come out with a bit of a drawl.
I have to make myself not do that. Doing that is natural for me.
Well, then just do it. Don't be weird. Don't be weird about that, man.
Because I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Anyhow, anyhow, back to Jack.
But yeah, so Jack, so my
We
take,
got the Jack. Anyway,
my take, my feeling on it is fine. It's totally okay. There was a sparkle between Carly and Jack that existed between Laura Wright and Charles Measure that
yes.
I'm not sure has been exactly recaptured yet when it comes
No,
to the
not
new
yet.
actor. However, in defense
Early.
of General Hospital and the character of Jack Brennan, this was as shocking to them as Chad Duell saying, "You know what? I don't want to do this anymore." This wasn't something that was building up in the backstage. There wasn't long meetings while they tried to rescue Charles Measure and keep him on the show and make him happy with whatever it is he was unhappy with. This, from our understanding, was very much I'm not coming tomorrow. I'm done with this. Why? I don't know.
But they did a pretty good job, even though, of course, even with it happening, because it takes, 2, 3, 4 weeks for it to air.
Mm-hmm.
So this had to be your 2, 3, 4 weeks old information.
Yes.
It's surprising that for the most part, people didn't know.
I think a lot of it is how petty somebody feels about the situation.
Hmm.
Also, I would say that the more people who know, the easier the information is going to get out. So it's possible.
Yeah, well,
It's
he
possible it just
certainly
snuck
did well.
under the radar and didn't catch enough attention for a staffer to share the information, or it wasn't juicy enough. Or I don't know. I don't have a strong explanation because sometimes the show does surprise us.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, and this is one
It's
of
not
those
the first time
moments.
there's been a secret that's been kept well.
Kelly
Or
says
even,
that.
I wouldn't even call it a secret, but just information.
Yeah, yeah. Kelly says that Charles was overwhelmed with the pages of script every day.
Well, I'm sure there were certain days where he had like a lot, an awful lot.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure I would think for any actor that it would be kind of hard. The transition would be kind of hard because, you if you're going to rehearse, you're going to do that on your own time,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to have to get someone to help you. You rehearse in the mirror to yourself, I guess, and just study more.
Mm.
But as far as bouncing it off another person, you got to have someone willing to spare their time as well.
Yeah. Yeah, now Charles Measure, he's not a unknown actor. It's not like he was brand new to it or anything like that. He's had a number of primetime roles, prominent ones, on successful shows.
I heard he
So
was on the Housewives at one point.
yeah, he got Mike Delfino killed.
Yeah.
He had a narrower face then and dark hair. And he was dating Vanessa Williams? Is that the actress? She was
Yeah.
on Desperate. Yeah, so he was dating that.
Sure
He
was.
was dating her on the show. He was a construction guy and all that, tied in with the mafia. And then Mike Delfino saved him from something, like beat up the bad guys to save this man from getting beat up. And in revenge, this mafia did a drive-by, shot and killed Mike Delfino. Shocking. Spoiler alert for a 20-year-old show.
Right.
But yeah, no, he was heavily involved.
The whole thing over again, and I wouldn't even. I would be going, oh yeah, like almost all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I paid very close
Sure.
attention to that final season. I thought it was really good. When you're not used to it, it's overwhelming, says Kelly. He gave it a good try, but decided that daytime wasn't him. I don't know where Kelly's getting this information from. I imagine that it's accurate from some sort of interview or posts or some sort of historical document that's out there on the internet. But man, if that's the reason, I'm not surprised by it. There's been plenty of even newer, unseasoned actors that have come on to the show and been like, "Oh, I can't do this." Whatever even happened to Chase's mom? Right? Did they give her too many pages? And she's like, "I can't do this. It's NYPD Blue. I'm sorry. I'm done." East Coaster says the daytime is like no other medium, and East Coaster, most daytime actors, if not all, will agree with you. Oh, goodness. Stephen Bradford, says Kelly. So I guess they spilled the beans.
Oh.
See, I guess Stephen Bradford don't give an S. Because they're constantly talking the truth.
Well, that's kind of awesome though.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to them in a little while.
I don't have time to I'm shocked I have time to make my own podcast. There's no way I have time to listen to somebody else's.
You have to have it in earbuds while you're busy doing some multitasking and doing something else.
Yeah,
huh?
I would have to earbud on and then listen to somebody talk about a show during time in which I should just be watching the show myself, so I can do this.
Right.
Oh no, they just said it. So
Anyway.
Chandra was asking if he had showed up, if Charles Measure was on Daily Dish and Days. No, that's a different one entirely. What are they? The Soap Talk 2025, whatever their podcast is. Daily Drama.
The Daily Drama, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Daily Drama.
Daily Drama.
I don't know that he's been on there or not. Perhaps he has. I haven't looked for. I was on their site about 3 weeks ago, and I didn't see him then.
No. Kelly said that he didn't do a repeat interview. It was just Stephen Bradford talked about it.
Okay. And I don't think he's been on Maurice's show either. I don't believe so.
I don't know if he has or not. I don't know. It's not like they would talk about why he quit on on that.
Of course not.
Not unless it was tied into some sort of deep depression. Which it might not be. It might have just been I don't want my career to be like this. Well, I think I could go find myself a primetime gig. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he decided it just wasn't his cup of tea. Mm-hmm. That's fine. But the new guy, we have to give him a chance.
Well,
yes, I do miss the fact that he doesn't have.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an accent. He doesn't have the same sparkle in his eye. He doesn't have the same mischievous. I got a secret little boy kind of that. Other Jack.
So what I said was good voice. I think he's got a good voice.
Yes.
And his portrayal of Brennan is far less trustworthy.
Yes.
Far less. I do not believe this man. Well, I believed Charles Measure. I believed that he genuinely had interest in Carly. I believed that he genuinely could make good choices. I believed that he genuinely was just someone in a position where he had to compromise morals for the safety of America.
Yeah, a little compromise.
A compromised man, not a man who was out to do bad things. I get
Yeah,
a
so
man
you
who was
think-
out to do bad things from this new portrayal.
Okay, that's what you're seeing.
That's what I'm seeing so far.
Seeing. Well, this guy is seasoned, and I know he's done some primetime work that I have not watched. However, that's little Joey Buchanan as a teenager on One Life to Live. That's Vicky and Joe's boy Joey. Life to Live.
Yes.
He's been tearing Turney, I bet.
Oh, maybe he has. Maybe that's where he's sending people because he knows the location. It's not like it went anywhere. It's still out there at ABC
You know who
Soapland.
got a hold of him? You know who got a hold of him when he was a super young man? That Dorian. That Dorian got a hold
Oh,
of him.
yeah, that's what it is. Turning bad.
Just to spite Vicky.
You know what? You should start a
His
company with this.
stepdaughter.
I know this man named Valentine. You should start an arms company with him and call it Pikeman.
Anyway, I do remember him from One Life to Live being a
Yeah.
teenager on the show many years ago. As we all can see, he's not like 30.
No.
He's more like 50.
Here's the thing, too. You know, if
Right?
this comes up time and time again. Obviously, Frank Valentini has a high respect for the actors that he has worked with in his career. And in a pinch, he will call somebody that he knows he can rely on in a second.
And I would say under these circumstances, with how fast they did, and you know, right in the middle of so much story, they can't just say, okay, well, Jack's going to be in the office now for the next month. We can't really do that with the story they're telling right now.
No.
So they had to recast him.
Plus,
like
also,
he split. But I
at the same
think-
time, you can't sell it. All right, you can't sell it. You can't have somebody quit on you and then have you go, "Oh no, what are we gonna do? We have to cancel what we have planned." You have to just recast and move on. So you can't show these actors weakness. Okay, so they can't just be like, "Well, I'm gonna quit then and ruin your plans," because you've already shown time and time again you can quit all you want. It's not gonna ruin this show at all. We're just gonna keep going.
I don't think that this guy, and I forgot his name. I don't think the new Jack is. I don't think he's going to be the actor is in the deer in the headlights either, because you know he's been around for a bit.
Yeah, he's done it. He's done it. He's not gonna say, "Oh, this is so many pages."
No,
No,
I
no.
don't think he's going to be. You know, and I'm sure there is cast and crew that he has a relationship with and knows.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Especially from One Life to Live. Oh gosh, I'm okay with it now, says Jeannie. At first, I thought he fired Charles. Then I read it was his choice. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I never heard. I never heard from any kind of reliable source at all that he was fired.
It's fun because I'm sorry.
I heard from the get-go that it was his choice
Mm-hmm.
and abruptly his choice, and that's obvious. But it was abruptly his choice.
For me, I didn't even consider that the show let him go, just by the fact. Oh, by the way, we've got a new Brennan.
Exactly. Yeah, and the number one reason why is because he was so well received.
Yeah,
The viewers
I mean,
and
I
the
was-
fans
I would.
like Jack Brennan right now, and they liked who's playing him. They like him.
I said, "Oh, really? A new Jack?" Well, Charles Measure must have left. Like, that was my thought process. Not, why did they replace him? Well, there was never a doubt in my mind that it wasn't his choice, even without it getting verified from independent sources.
Yeah.
So, he had not been on One Life to Live in over 30 years. So I don't know what this man has been up to, but it hasn't been soaps. Or
Well,
it hasn't been One Life to Live, that's for sure.
I cannot tell you what he's been on, but I know he has been on some primetime stuff.
Okay, well, hey, even better.
And like it is, like always, don't come to the 10th floor to, you know.
Don't come here for the news and don't come here to complain. Unless
No,
we're
I-
complaining, that you can complain with us. But don't complain about something we're not actively complaining
about. That's what you have to come here for.
Kelly says, give the guy a chance. When the new Emma came on day one, they hated her. It's not fair to whoever it is taking over these roles. And you're right, Kelly, and I love Emma. I think Emma's great. And I actually find Emma and Gio to be a wonderful pairing.
Oh, I think so too. I think Gio will kind of level Emma out a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're going to present each other the missing aspects of the other's personality.
Yeah, I think so too.
She's going to get him in trouble, and he's going to be like, maybe you should back off of this some.
And the whole thing with Gio being Brooklyn's child, Brooklyn and Dante's baby.
We got it. We're out. It's out.
That's about to blow out everywhere.
It's out to the audience now.
It is certainly
out to the audience, and accentless Martin Gray, which Kelly says was Michael E. Knight's choice. And I have to trust Kelly because she's always right about these things.
That makes sense to me though, because I think as you think of him going. You look at him, and it doesn't matter if he's got a beard or not, or if he's,
I disagree.
You're going to think of Tad.
I disagree. With the beard and the accent, I was thinking Marty Gray.
Oh, yeah. And the reason why is because he put on the beard and the accent.
Yeah, I totally separated him from Tad.
Why he put it on.
And it seemed like he was having a good time.
That's a bummer. I think he really wanted to help us. Not just think, oh, it's Tad. Tad's on today.
Well, Kelly said that it was his choice to not do the accent anymore, so I don't know how that feeds into anything. Other than he doesn't want to do it, which sucks. Because for me, I just liked it. I liked it as a character trait.
I think he should go ahead and keep sprinkling it in, a word here and a word there,
I can understand, too, though, that it wasn't the most authentic accent, and it was very foghorn leghorn, and when he was standing there in the courthouse talking like this, it was really, really, really not real. So I can understand that. I can understand that. But from a viewer standpoint, I'm going to miss it. I admit I don't like the new version of Emma, says Laura. Well, you know what, Laura? You can think that, and it's okay.
Yeah. Well, Emma, they decided when they did the Soras on Emma that she wasn't going to be sweet, innocent, looking for Grandpa Robert did the didgeridoo any longer. That's not how she's going to be portrayed.
No. And I think they did a good job, too, with Maxie. Maxie this week was like, listen, when you were living with your doctor parents, you can get away with a lot more than you're going to be able to get away with Anna. Which explains that she has kind of always been like this. We just never really heard about it because she was able to keep it from Robin and Patrick.
Yeah. And Maxie, boy, oh boy, she's speaking from some experience right there. That's testimony for Maxie. Really?
Oh my God! So I was watching General Hospital this week, okay, and I was laying in bed with the guy over there, right? We were laying in the bed together, and he's like, "Okay, fine, you can put your stupid soap on. I'm gonna take a nap." I'm like, "Fine, cool." So I put the stupid soap on, right? Put the stupid soap on. I'm watching, and then I feel the bed shaking. And I look over at him, and he's stifling laughter. And this is the opening scene of Monday, where Maxie is talking to Emma. They're not even cracking jokes or saying anything silly. They're just having a scene. And I feel the bed shaking, and I look over, and he's stifling laughter, and I go, "You're laughing because it's Xenon, aren't you?" And he goes, "Yes, the girl of the 22nd century. If you told me she was on the show, I'd be watching."
Well... now course, you know.
Well, of course, that doesn't mean he's going to continue to watch. But didn't you tell me that he also one time was walking by the TV and saw Aunt Stella and said, "Hey, she goes to my dance class sometimes." Well, so he will talk about the people he runs into here in Los Angeles doing dance classes or on set, mostly at a dance class, and he ran into Stella. I'm like, oh yeah. And then also he shared a dance class with Arlandria. Like they were chit-chatting and talking, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm on General Hospital. I play a bartender." And he's like, "What?" Then he told me all about it, and I'm like, "Oh my God, she's been on the podcast."
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. So Chandra laughing at the Xenon thing. Melissa says that Xenon love is immortal, and that's true. She is the girl of
Exactly.
the 22nd century, and we're never going to forget it. Lots of Maxie on this week, and I love to see that. Any rumor that you heard about Kristen Storms is complete baloney and nonsense, so we're not even going to get into that. But if you heard anything negative about her, it's false. And just move on. Move on.
Perfect.
But I loved seeing Maxie all over the place. It's like Kristen Storms is getting written for more often now that she is consistently healthy and vibrant and has seemed to have beaten whatever illness that she had been fighting. So they're using Maxie a lot more, and I love to see it. I want more Bradford
I love
because
to see it.
Spixie 2.0 is amazing, and they need to
Yep.
continue giving us that on our screens when it's not a holiday. But I also understand Spinelli's not the most interesting and engaging character. Totally get it.
Well, not all the time.
Not all the time. He can be, but having him
Yeah.
on, every Tuesday we expect to see Spinelli isn't exactly how you can use that character to its maximum value.
No,
Totally
no.
get it.
They have to make him be doing some kind of spice something for somebody, hacking something for somebody, being on some kind of adventure with somebody.
Yes.
And that's not what they're writing right now.
No, he's got to be there to have a fun scene and tell a little joke, or he has to be hacking into something for some sort of drama. But when it comes to the daily ins and outs of we're raising Georgie, it's just he's not the most engaging daytime character for something like that.
Yeah.
Nothing about the actor. Bradford's great. I'm just saying that the character of Spinelli, they would have to work at it and
Yes.
give him more. In North Hollywood, friends have seen Aunt Stella in North Hollywood, and East Coaster, you're right, it was in North Hollywood. I like Maxie not judging, says Laura. And that is what I was trying to lead into with this, because of all of the soap characters out there where people can comment and say, well, how does so-and-so have the right to even say such and such when they did this and this? Well, Maxie moving around completely non-judgmental because she is so-and-so that did such and such to this and this.
And she will come right out there and say so now.
Yes. No, yeah, I did
like,
those things.
who are you selling this bill of goods to? Come on.
I don't know.
I came up with this wholesale scheme.
I did. Georgie, anything you're scheming, I schemed up a long time ago. Let me tell you.
Right, right.
So,
And she can, say, and she can say the same thing to Emma now too. And she kind of is.
yeah. I also like how she's like, great, I'm done talking to you. Now I'm here to talk to Sasha, who I was originally meeting. So get out, scram, get away from the table. I'm gonna have girl talk with Sasha. Go hang out with Gio. I like that.
Speaking of our girl Sasha, she's pretty assertive.
I'm told you, Sasha's a damn lead. Okay, she's been a damn lead, and she's gonna continue to be a damn lead.
And she told Drew off.
Yeah, she's ready to tell everybody off. And then now she also has this whole Jason situation that she didn't expect to have.
Yeah.
And they're saying, gosh
Yeah.
darn it. Dang it.
Yeah. Now he's going to find out that Sam was murdered. He doesn't even know that.
No.
He's not going to, he's all of the stuff. He's probably going to have to go rescue Danny from stupid Uncle Cyrus. Oh my gosh. Won't that be fun to watch if that happens?
I mean, I think it's going to be a great moment too for Cyrus, for Jeff Kober as well, because Rocco and Danny, they're gonna find the chrome-plated gun, right? And they're gonna go try to sneak up to Cyrus, and Cyrus is going to quickly and easily defeat these two teenage boys, and then be like, "What is wrong with you? This is what you do? Here, have a Bible." And then people are gonna be like, "What? Cyrus didn't kill these kids who were after him?" Complication and drama.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so good when all that goes.
Complication and drama.
Yep.
No, it's going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff. It's going to be more Emmy-winning material for Jeff Kober.
Hope so.
It's going to be good stuff for Jeannie Francis, too.
It will be. It will be. Unfortunately, I think it will be the end of Cyrus.
I don't see
do.
Cyrus returning to prison
I don't
from
either.
this.
I don't either. Oh my God.
Kelly making a generous Canadian donation right
Kim.
here to this show. And guess what, folks? The only little pop-up that doesn't work is the reaction pop-up for some reason. So when somebody subscribes, boom, pop-up. When somebody donates to the show, boom, pop-up. When somebody does a reaction, nothing. I don't know why it doesn't work.
Well,
But
still
thank you,
have
Kelly.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Matt.
I don't know either, but I
You would
appreciate.
know 100 million times % more than I
Listen, so I set up all three of these little doohickeys at the exact same time, and 2 out of 3 of them work.
do.
So I did something right twice.
You sure did.
I just don't know what I did wrong the third time.
I'd say 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I don't
It's
know.
not bad, but it's not great either.
Yeah, I know.
You
It would be
know,
good to see all of it.
it's most, but not all. Anyway, thank you very much, Kelly, for your generous donation here to the 10th floor. Okay. Now, Ma, I had been, and I even included it on the graphic.
Yeah.
That is Austin alive. And I just before anything else, I just want you to. I just want to know what do you think he could be? No.
I'm trying to think back of like how did Roger Howarth leave?
Roger Howard left. If I remember it
Well, I
correctly.
know, he got shot kaboom.
No. From the backstage perspective, he
Yes,
was
yes,
playing
yes,
Franco, and then the network said you cannot use Franco anymore because of sensitivities.
yes.
And Franco, the character, has done too many things that is hurting these sensitivities that you must change
Right.
the character. So they
Yeah.
changed the character to Austin and didn't really know what they were going to do with it. They had an idea and then had an idea and had an idea and he had a haircut and then he didn't have a haircut and then he had Franco hair, right? All of that
Yeah.
stuff. And then ultimately they went, this isn't working. This
Right.
character isn't working,
Yes.
and just cut ties.
Yes.
Instead of making you go through this again, where you're not Todd and you're not Franco and you're not Austin and we're going to make up something else, they said, we're done.
I don't know, I don't know. They never explained his death. Showed him get shot point blank, but never really explained it. They did find his body.
But Nicholas was also killed and his body was dragged out of Windermere and he was totally okay.
Yeah,
So
true.
I think, and Austin was involved in that thing. I'm saying that in the chat says, well, does the show need Austin? Asks East Coaster. I don't necessarily think that the show needs any character or needs anyone. But would it be beneficial for them to figure out how to bring Roger Howarth back? Yeah, I do. I don't know. I just thought it
Okay,
was an
but
interesting thought. It was an interesting thought because
yeah, but
Cyrus is bringing the groceries to somebody.
right. He's bringing the groceries to
To
somebody.
somebody.
Got to
And we
be
haven't
Jeff-
seen
got to be.
inside the cabin. We've only seen the front door.
And why? And if there wasn't something about Austin going on, there would be no purpose for Josslyn to bring him up at Bobby's.
Austin it was not playing in this in some way. Whether it's we're going to tell you that Cyrus did it, or he's actually alive somewhere. There's no reason at all to ever bring up the name. Hey, by the way, did you know Austin Gatlin-Holt?
Yeah.
Yeah, so totally.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if Josslyn winds up in some kind of real danger with Cyrus as well because she really just finds out all of the truth.
I think that's just where more of a Jack and Carly might be pulled into things if Josslyn gets in too deep. But also at the same time, they have reminded us that Josslyn and Lucky are fam bam and see each
Yeah.
other as such and get along. They've had scenes together where they're like, hey, Lucky, hey, Joss.
Uh-huh.
So it's entirely possible that they reminded us of their connection too, so we can have Lucky being the action hero, which I think Jonathan Jackson is interested in.
I love that idea more than Jason being the big, the big hero in the whole thing, because I think still yet, and I love Liz and Lucky, but I still think that Jonathan is being underutilized, and I was very, very excited for him to return to General Hospital, and I have not yet to see what I'm excited ultimately for. But I believe it very much could be in the in the window here.
We've lost ourselves a
The windshield
Sam.
ahead of us.
Yes. And, they're playing up the Liz and Lucky romance because I think that's what people just kind of expect for them to do. So we're doing it. We're getting it done. They're slow dancing. They're falling for each other once again. They're reminding each other of what they loved in their youth and how they're more mature and better people now and can do it better.
I know, and they was almost about to kiss, and then that gosh darn Rick shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Rick did Elizabeth a solid. She got to go back to the hospital, lickety split, and he was really, really, really facilitated that.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yes.
So, he knew he had good news to come there for, but I don't know. You know, Rick, he's not going to leave. He's not going to leave Elizabeth alone.
No. I don't think that he necessarily has an iron in the Alexis fire, but he definitely has one in the Liz fire.
Yes.
I think that Alexis and Rick, and I said this a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, I think that their best thing that they can get from each other right now is just having fun bickering scenes where they can be the Bickersons.
Right.
You know, I think that that's where their future lies, not necessarily in any sort of hint at rekindling romance. Him being a complication, so to speak, for Lucky and Liz, I think it's good. And complication not as in Liz isn't going to know who to choose, but just be like an annoying problem. It's like, Rick, please stop. Please go away. Nobody loves you like Ava does. Go hang out with Ava, okay?
I know.
Rick is such a foil, says East Coast.
I
Exactly,
do like
great
her.
word.
I do like Ava with Rick, though.
Oh, yeah, they're good together. But I
They're
mean,
good because they're both connivers, and they can connive together really well.
it's a great pairing of characters. And really, when it comes to Tamara West, I'm hard-pressed to find somebody that she hasn't been excellent with.
Right.
You know, people were like, "Oh, well, I can't wait for the Franco Ava romance." You know, and that's that sort of stuff that never came about. And then Ava Austin, you know, they slept together because of the magic of Roger Howarth and Mara West. You know, because of those two actors, and people would wanted to see those two actors in romance, but it just wasn't the same as if he was Franco.
And when he was Franco, we even see him and Carly almost get married on the Haunted Star, and that's when Helena and the USB in the back of the TV joke comes from.
I don't know if it was that, because that was on the Haunted Star, but I don't think it was from the Carly and Franco almost marriage, because I didn't see that, but I did see the Helena USB.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking.
I think the Helena USB was at Luke's funeral.
Maybe it was.
I think it was at Luke's funeral. She's like, oh, Luke is really dead. And and Laura's like, screw this. We're done with this lady. Now, can you imagine, though? Like, so...
See, I get my years mixed up.
It's
I've been
all
watching
good.
it for so long.
You've been watching it for so long. I totally get it. I think that was a prime moment. If we had the writing stuff at the time that was thinking more about the future, because we didn't. We had been thinking about right now only. If we had one that was thinking more about the future, that moment could have been played up so much bigger. Laura pulling the USB out of the back of the TV, because Helena's dead, right? And this could have been the moment where Laura removes Helena's ghost from our lives, where she pulls that thing out and she's like, we are never going to hear from this woman again. And to just like make it a bigger deal so it is the end of Helena Cassadine.
Yeah.
That would have been really fun. We didn't get that, though.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
They could have done,
They could have done all kinds of things.
They could have done all kinds of crazy things.
They could have. All right, Ma, we got about we're gonna say 12 to 15 minutes left, because I don't want to talk for 8 hours about General Hospital this week.
Okay.
Mostly because I gotta pee. Let's talk about two big things. All right. Number one, we haven't talked much about the whole Geo thing. We talked a little, but we didn't talk much.
Yes.
Okay. And the second one is oh gosh, there's still Willow and Drew we haven't talked about. Never mind, we're going to talk for 2 hours. So Sidwell's following Natalia.
Yeah. Maybe there's more story for Natalia, just like we were talking about last week.
So he's following Natalia. Now this puts a wrench in my Natalia planted the bomb guess, okay?
Yes.
Because if Sidwell is secretly following her, then they're not necessarily working together unless they're working together and he's also secretly following her. But that's complicated. So, I'm thinking he's Blaze's dad.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? I haven't thought about anything like that at all. I just thought maybe, perhaps, and this is just the ordinary, boring reason, but he's following her because he knows that she is often with Sonny.
But then why wouldn't he just have Sonny followed?
I don't know, maybe you could just give him some, be less obvious to get more intel
Yeah, I
by
don't know.
following her first and then having a little more information before any kind of encounter with him. Or I don't know. I don't know. But I like that idea, Matt. I like all your ideas when it comes to Natalia and Jens because they're interesting. Yes.
I hope it's the case. I hope he's a previous ex. She's been married a couple of times. He could be Blaze's dad. He could be Eloy's dad. He could be the dad of all dads.
He could.
He could be. He could be. I think it'd be super fun. Let's see here. I feel like they're struggling too much as it is. Okay, East Coaster's talking about trimming the cast. It's too bloated. And I don't know what East Coaster wants because we've lost like 5 characters in the last 2 months. So.
Yeah.
What else do you want, East Coaster? A massive nuclear bomb? Just takes out a section of the city.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. See, I've never had the same commentary.
I think JPS is going to soon be back, like not just to try to choke Jack, but to be back.
I hope so.
Back for a few days. I think so. And I think Lulu was kind of getting hot on the trail a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so they're going to start looking at horse riding classes. See,
well, she's, starting to, but that's at a different angle, right? She's really starting to think about.
Now she's trying to narrow down the scope and not just go, what are you going to do, knock on every door in Amsterdam?
Right.
Yeah, no. Now she's going to think about it. Okay, equestrian.
Yeah, smart.
Okay, maybe she's taking some horse classes, huh?
And now that she's starting to not be impulsive and just flying off the handle, now her mom's going, yeah, I will help you. Good job, daughter. Good job.
Yes. I've never had the same commentary about the bloated cast. I thought that the GH cast has been fine. You have your main eventers and you have your supporting cast, and your supporting players come in to play what they need to, and your main eventers are there for everything. It's just been totally okay with me, because I don't expect to see Chase prominently on 5 days a week. I never do. And so when he's on 3 days a week, I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So that's just me, though. That's just me. Let's see. Lulu is ignoring Rocco, and now Rocco and Danny will become vigilantes. That's also a fun commentary, Chandra, because multiple people have been like, well, how come nobody's spending any time with their children? Nobody ever spends any time with their children on a soap opera. The fact that Jason lives at the Quartermains, but doesn't really do many scenes at the Quartermains, doesn't mean that he's not hanging out with Danny. He's just not hanging out with Danny when we see him.
I just know I'm gonna love every moment of Jason in the Quartermain house.
Yeah.
I just love it. I just love it. His last scene came in huffing and puffing, coming through the door, Tracy, before he ever gets to the living room. I loved it. Oh my gosh.
East Coaster, I don't think that you're correct. I want you to tell me how much money Jonathan Jackson and Steve Burton are making. And tell me how much money the people who have left the cast were making. And if you cannot tell me how much money they were making, we cannot confidently say anything was done for cost, because we don't flippin' know how much money these people are making. They could be making $1.
Actually, we heard from a somewhat reliable source that you would be surprised at how
low
they all make, especially compared to a couple of decades ago.
There may or may not be a reason why. There are so many Zoom events in which these actors get paid. There may or may not be a reason why your young, new members of the cast launch their Patreon channels for additional up-close and in-person stuff. There may or may not be a reason why it's very likely for a soap actor to have more than one acting job at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they're not making as much money as we're assuming. I don't know how much it is, though. I couldn't tell you. And you could totally be right as well. Because I have no clue. Now, they're also saying, LaShawn and other folks, I think Melissa started it, it would be more interesting to them if Sidwell and Natalia weren't exes, but indeed brother and sister.
I like that too. I like the whole idea that they are connected somehow. And oh, actually, I like any idea of them being connected. Um, Not so much as exes. I don't know. The dynamics of them being exes, I'm not all that interested in.
Brother and
But
sister.
but he being Blaze's dad's kind of interesting. But you can't have one without the other. I understand
Right,
that.
right. But him being Blaze's
Can't have one
uncle,
without the other.
a
Anyway,
little less
but that's
interesting.
I guess that's the facet of it that I would be more interested in, would be the relationship between um, he and his daughter
Mm-hmm.
more
Mm-hmm.
than Natalia.
Yeah.
Or Yank spouses. Bleh. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I think that
And
with the
yeah,
characters we have on the show right now, because Blaze isn't on the show right now, so her relationship to other people is less important than the characters who
and
we
Michael's
currently
not
have.
either, and he's not going to be on the show for a bit.
I'm sorry, you totally froze out, and I missed what you were saying. You came back and said Michael's not on the show either, and
I,
he's
I yeah, I said, and Michael's not on the show either, and he's not going to be on for a bit.
yeah, yeah. Michael's not on the show right now either, and he's not going to be on for a bit. They don't have to pay that man. Um, so yeah. Focusing on the characters we have access to, which isn't Blaze because she's not on the show. It would be more beneficial to the characters that are on right now for Sidwell and Natalia to be brother and sister than exes. Because feeding more into Blaze, who isn't on the show, could potentially be a waste of time if you don't have plans to bring that character back.
I do like the idea that Natalia has been a mole the entire time.
Yes, she doesn't actually. Because here's the thing about that. She came in and
Because
she started dating Sonny. And she's like, what? What mafia? I haven't heard anything about the mob boss, Sonny Corinthos.
uh-huh.
Please, Natalia.
That would be interesting.
Please. Sidwell and Natalia being siblings would make me interested in her a little bit more, says Del J.
Absolutely. Me too. Me too. Me too. Yeah. And it would be I don't know though. It would be hard for Sonny to get out of the mob and then have this storyline with folks from the mob.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Yes, it would be.
I don't know.
I don't know what's going to happen because we've reintroduced Ms.
But they
Wu.
could put that family firmly in Port Charles though, and make them almost part of the new with the five families. And Miss Wu showed up again this week too.
Mm-hmm.
So she's trying to stir the pot and trying to get Cody to do stupid things. Like he needs anybody.
He doesn't
to
need
assist
anybody's help
him.
getting
No,
him
he
to do
don't need
stupid
no help
things.
in
And
that
he
area,
and
does he?
even then he was like, I'm gonna not do something stupid, and he marches back in and he does something stupid by marching back in. He's like,
But yeah,
oh,
but
Drew,
at the
you're
same
here.
time though, but at the same time, there's good old Drew.
Good old Drew.
Good old Drew, he's smoozing with everybody. He's smoozing with Jens, and he was smoozing with Miss Wu this week. He uses and he loves the word
Contentious.
Yes,
It's just contentious. It's contentious inside
no,
the house.
my
Constituents.
yes,
Yes, my
he loves that
constituents.
stupid word.
Well, they're the people who voted for him. They rely on him to be a good senator. And since I am Drew, godly Drew, I can only do the right thing for my constituents.
Oh my God, he used that word so many times. It's like I should have a drinking game. How many times he says that stupid?
I like Miss Wu too. My issue, quote unquote, with Miss Wu is she's very, very much one lane. Like there's not she's on because she's up to something.
Yes,
You know,
she always has a air of threatening you.
She's always up to
Always.
something. Every deal she makes is to push something forward, is to weaken another person's position. Like she's very one lane in the fact that everything that this character does is associated with her and her mob and trying to maximize the potential of that. And that's not a criticism. That's a reflection to people wanting to see more of Miss Wu. Sometimes a character is great because of the limited time that you have with them. I think I've said this before on the show. Do you remember a show called Three's Company?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the original landlords, the Ropers?
I do.
Do you remember how much you loved them?
Yep.
God, they were great, weren't they?
Yeah.
And then they got their own show, The Ropers spinoff, in which Mr. Roper, the actor behind it, said, "This is not going to work. I don't want to do a spinoff." And they said, "Too bad." And then he said, "Great, okay. If the show does not last a full first season, I want there to be an option in this contract where we get to go back to Three's Company." And they said, "Great, no problem."
Mm-hmm.
And they did a full first season, even though they knew they were not going to renew that because they didn't want to bring back the Ropers because they had already recast with Don Knotts. But those actors recognized and realized that people loved the Ropers because they came in and they did the Ropers bit, and then they left. And the rest of the show was about Jack.
Yep. Yep.
But to do a whole half hour about the Ropers doesn't work because their bit was great.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't anchors for the story.
Right.
And they couldn't be because they were a bit.
Yeah.
So, say similar things. They would have to do a lot of work to flesh out Miss Wu, to give her a lot more going on for her to be more valuable to the show than showing up to be the antagonist.
Yes.
And she's a great antagonist.
She's a super good
She's so good at it.
And Drew, the way Drew was talking to her in his, circles, he's such a good politician right now, actually. Really is.
Yeah.
Him talking in circles and stuff, he was basically asking her, what kind of dirt you got on Chris Ashford?
Yeah. What kind of dirt do you got? So I understand, you kind of were doing a little something with the Savoy, right? What was that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, Mr. Kane, Mr. Quartermain, I should say. If you want that, you're going to have to do a little something for me, a little quid pro quo.
And what's driving me crazy even this week is Nina, once again, is the voice of reason. What is going on here?
You hate voice of reason, Nina.
Even teaming up with Carly, I don't think is a bad idea. I don't.
No, I don't. I think it's going to be interesting, especially when Carly finds out that Nina's been had slept with Drew. It's fun because like a lot of this Nina narrative kind of gets jumbled when we talk about it. Like because Nina is sleeping with Drew is the phrase that's used, but that's not the case because she's not and hasn't been for a long time. She just was. No. Before when all of this started. Same thing when it comes to Nina taking Avery, she cut the baby from Ava's womb, which is not the case either.
No.
People misremember Nina a lot, and it's a lot of fun for me.
And it's crazy because Nina, of course, has this relationship with Drew, sexual relationship more than anything. Carly had a real relationship with him, dang near married him, all that stuff. And Carly, and then you got, Willow right in the middle of it too. And Willow remembers Carly and Drew being a couple and being at family events where they were kind of looked at as her mother-in-law and father-in-law to a certain degree.
Gross.
Nasty.
It's a super gross, and I got to give it to Kevin Matheson for getting the note from his publicist to engage with the press as if you're playing a villain. Because I don't know if you guys saw that Jennifer Hudson show appearance or not, but in it he said it's so weird for me to act. Nobody likes me. I'm playing the bad guy, and I've never done that before. He actually confessed to Drew being up to no good. Which is different than the other interviews that he's done. So his publicist said, "Hey, bro, come on. I know that you're Captain Charming, but you're not the good guy right now on this show, and you need to do interviews in which you recognize the fact that what you're doing is wrong."
Oh my God.
Good stuff. So if you guys saw the Jennifer Hudson thing, cool. If you didn't, find some clips. There's definitely the hallway dancing available on Twitter, and that's always fun. But it did make me...
I've seen the hallway dance, which was awesome.
I saw 2 versions of it, which made me really interested in a couple of things. Number one, the first one I saw was Maurice Bernard dominated. where he was in
I
front,
saw
in
the one
front,
with
in front.
Maurice was in the front.
He was in
Yes.
front, in front, in front until he clears, and then you can see everybody else behind him. Oh,
Yes.
there's Carly, there's Drew, there's Anna, there's Curtis, there's
Right.
Jordan, there's all
Right.
that. Great, cool. And I saw another one where
Yeah.
Maurice was in the back.
Uh-huh.
And Finola was in the front because
And she
she's a
was
dancer.
killing it,
And
huh?
she was doing all of her stuff, or,
Yep.
da, 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 da,
I saw it too.
da, 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 as she does, right?
Yeah, she was staying alive is what she was doing.
Yeah, and she was staying alive out there. So I wondered at that point, did they do like their first one and went, Maurice, move, and then do it again? Or did they go, oh, wait, Finola is a dancer. Let's do this again with her in the front. Like, I'm wondering what the feeling was behind it. Was it Maurice move, or let's bring Finola to the front? I'm curious.
Well, maybe, maybe they weren't at Prospect, so, they get to have more than one take. So there you go.
Chandra says that one was the entrance and the other one was the exit. So I don't know. I didn't know they did an exit dance.
I didn't know they.
Well, on the exit, they said Maurice move. Okay. I didn't know there was an exit dance because I guess I only see the entrance ones.
I'd actually
Usually.
set up my DVR to record that show
Yeah.
where I could see it in the entirety, and then for whatever reason it didn't record.
Oh, is
So
it-
I
is it-
have seen just a couple of clips now.
Is it on demand?
I looked and I couldn't find it. I
And
don't
push
know.
your little microphone button and be like, the Jennifer Hudson show, please.
I did that.
Let's see. Poor Cameron didn't deserve that, Laura says. I think she's referring to Cameron telling a story about somebody throwing an apple at him in the supermarket for breaking up Michael and Willow.
Yes.
It is still real to a lot of people, folks.
Yes, it is. It is because the genre is just so weird, right? I've heard stories about, especially back in, a few decades ago in the 70s and stuff, where like somebody threw dirt on
Uh-huh.
throwing dirt on people that somebody, a couple of people actually had a fan that tried to strike them and like assault them in some
Yeah.
way.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that kind of
yes.
stuff. I think even little Susan Lucci, and you guys, she's just the most pint-sized little person. Matthew and I got to
I
see
don't
her.
know if anybody threw anything at Susan Lucci, but I think Susan
Oh, but-
Lucci learned how to turn her head to somebody going Susan or somebody going Erica.
But from what I understand, especially in New York, and when I guess there, folks would be coming and going from the studio, in kind of a public way a lot.
Oh
You know,
yeah. In New York, you did a lot of walking.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly, and then they would have viewers come say something ugly to them, or
Well, East Coaster
some-
said that someone slapped Susan Lucci, so maybe
that's
I'm way
what I
wrong.
heard.
Maybe somebody slapped
I heard too.
Susan Lucci.
Yeah, I didn't know, but
Yeah.
like I said, don't come here for the facts. I think I remember things.
Yeah, don't come here for the news, folks. Just come here for us just wildly talking out of our butts. I guess my age is a disadvantage in this because Susan Lucci has always been an adult in my lifetime. So therefore, Susan Lucci has always been old in my lifetime. Because when you're 5 and you see somebody who's 30, you're like, wow, that person's ancient. They're not. But from your 5-year-old perspective, my God, they're old.
Sure.
And then, you fast forward to me being 38 and Susan Lucci being in her 80s or whatever it is, late 70s, early 80s. Now she's old. Before, she could get slapped and bounce right back and be okay. And so I always have this perspective of, oh no, not Susan Lucci, she's so old. So even in 1993, getting slapped on the streets of New York City, my gut reaction is, how could somebody slap old lady Susan Lucci, even if she wasn't an old lady at the time?
Even though, my gosh, Susan, what does she weigh? I don't know, somewhere between 95 and 105 pounds. That would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
She is the tiniest little person.
Just don't hit anybody. I think is the
She's
lesson.
not like a tiny person, like say, like that.
Mm-hmm.
She is just a very small.
She's a
frail
petite woman.
person.
She's a petite woman.
I'm sure she wears like maybe a size 5.5 shoe or something.
She's a size -3.
You know, she don't have no big old Irish dome like I do, that's for sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sandra's only seen clips of J-HUD, so I guess that's the main way that people have been interacting with it. I think it's the
Yeah.
same-minded people that believes the imposter pages on Facebook, says Jeannie. So if you're likely to slap an actor, you're also likely to think that Maurice Bernard has personally friended you on Facebook.
I've heard sad stories about that kind of stuff where people have actually, lost money.
And Melissa's
And
taken. I'm sorry. Yeah, people who've
I,
lost money get scammed by people pretending to be George Clooney. You know,
I
picking.
heard somebody, I heard that somebody sent, someone got scammed by someone claiming to be Steve Burton
Wouldn't be surprised.
and sent him a bunch of money, sent that
Don't
fake
say,
a bunch of money.
not every actor's rich and famous, but I promise you, no actor is going to ask you randomly for money. I
Oh,
promise
heck
you, that is
no.
not the real person, ever.
No.
Ever.
No.
Ever. Melissa's taking away the lessons of the day as don't hit anybody, and Susan Lucci is a really old woman. So, there you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, it's the same thing. Like Ric Flair. I always thought Ric Flair was ancient. I always thought Steve Martin was ancient. These people weren't ancient when I was 10. They're ancient now.
Indeed.
You put white hair on an adult, and every kid thinks that they're 90.
Do you think that way about me, Matt?
Do I think you're
Back
ancient?
then, back then when I was 30, you thought I was so old,
No,
and now
because
I'm
there's
really ancient.
I mean, there's a difference. There's a difference between how you see your parents versus how you see the rest of the world. You know,
I
my
was gonna say though, when you remember when I was 30, you were already six, so
well, yes, but you don't think, oh gosh, my parents are old. Like, no, no, you don't think that. Your parents are your parents. They're not the same humans as the rest of the planet. I don't know if you experienced that, but I certainly did. My parents were my parents. They're not the same. They're not the same as everything else. You don't have the same thoughts. I didn't. I didn't think about the age of my parents. I barely think about the age of my parents now.
oh well, not until like really like yeah, like later, I
I
guess.
would, yeah, if you're struggling to get downstairs and don't remember my first name, yeah, I'm probably gonna go, okay, mom's
What's going
old.
on? Yeah,
Mom's
yeah, I
old.
understand.
But up
I
till that
understand.
point, I'm really, really not thinking about it. Like, you took a tumble in the parking lot and hurt your hand and took you 6 weeks to bounce back, and I didn't even think about it then.
Wasn't my hand? I nearly broke both my arms, man.
I mean, I know it was devastating, but also it took you a long time to recover, longer than if you were
Yeah,
20.
did.
But
Yeah,
even then, I'm not thinking, oh gosh, mom is just getting so old. I went, oh, mom took a tumble. She's all right. You know?
indeed.
Matt made you older, Mama Cat, says Melissa. He can't judge what he instigated. I can attest to that too because I'm 38 and childless and do not feel like I'm almost 40. I don't know what almost 40 is supposed to feel like, but I don't feel it.
No, yeah, your birthday's only 2 months away.
Yeah, I'll be 39.
Yeah,
Isn't that wild?
it's crazy.
I'm grayer than my older brother.
Yeah, you are.
It's all
Not
right.
by much though.
No, not by much. He's super, super green now.
Not really.
The rumor was that Phyllis Diller was Susan Lucci's mom. That's not true. Random chat isms.
No. Phyllis Diller actually. I I remember my mom telling me some kind of story about Phyllis Diller because I guess Phyllis Diller is from the Oakland Alameda area of
Oh,
California.
okay. That's where we're from.
Yeah. And my parents being in Alameda when they were really young adults because of my dad being in the Navy, being stationed at
Mm-hmm.
Oakland Naval Air. Yeah.
I don't know nothing about nothing. Kelly says, don't get me a birthday present because I've been a bad boy.
Well, the interesting thing is, I don't buy my kids birthday presents anymore. I don't.
We graduated away from gifts and presents because those cost money and nobody has it.
And now I got grand kiddos.
Eh,
You know?
eh, eh. How do I remember the Ropers, Matt? You're only 38? Nick at Night, of course. Nick at Night. Come on, knock on my
Nick at
door.
Night.
I've been waiting for you. I did a lot of Nick at Night. I watched all kinds of classic sitcoms, from Three's Company to I Love Lucy to The Mary Tyler Moore Show. I even saw Little Rhoda and went, this isn't the same as Mary Tyler Moore. You should have stuck Rhoda back on Mary Tyler Moore.
I let Matthew be a TV nerd. He had a TV in his bedroom.
Oh yes, and you know, I was mature enough to be able to handle what I was watching. Plus, I didn't watch a bunch of nonsense that I shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and he was lucky. He was lucky. A lot of his time, he had his own bedroom. You have to share his space most of the time.
No. And I wasn't into sports, and I wasn't into this, that, and the other thing. I wasn't into Cartoon Network. I really wasn't into a lot of stuff that my peers and contemporaries were. So while they were watching Ed, and Eddie, and Dexter's Laboratory, and all of these things that pretty much created the foundation for the sense of humor for my age group, I didn't watch, and therefore my sense of humor is very different than the rest of my age group. Because I watched old classic sitcoms like I Love Lucy and Mary Tyler Moore and The Dick Van Dyke Show and those things. And so I'm just as old as you all are, really, when it comes to how I think and how I approach and what my references are. Like, I might have more recent ones like a Desperate Housewives or a pro wrestling or something like that. But for the most part...
But now, Matt, even that stuff is old.
Yeah,
even Lost and Desperate Housewives is
old. Oh, I know that. Oh, boy, do I know that. There's a whole generation of new Gen Z people running across Lost the first time on Netflix going, what's this really interesting show? And I'm like, it's been off the entire time you've been alive. Oh. So, yeah, that's how.
So, was there anything we didn't cover?
Did we talk about Geo? We did talk about Geo. I found it to be interesting that Lois told Martin of anybody, the first person to find out. But also at the same time, it makes sense. She's trying to put up some walls in protection now that she senses we're getting close to Brooklyn going, by the way, what happened to that kid anyway?
Exactly.
She can feel the question coming.
Brooklyn even alluded to the fact she didn't even know if she had a boy or a girl.
Mm-hmm. So she's seeing some interest now coming up in Brooklyn, now that Brooklyn has tried to have another kid and can't with Chase, and is kind of reawakening.
It would be crazy if now Brooklyn will go and visit him as well, visit Marty as well, with the same inquiry. Hey, I would like to. Are you okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was playing with my thing. I'm sorry.
I thought maybe. Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, wouldn't it be interesting for Brooklyn to go now see Marty for the same reason? Now, hey, I had this child, blah, blah, blah. I'd really like to, can you
find out? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, what do I do? Oh, Tracy, what do I do? Well, first of all, don't talk like that, Martin. You don't talk like that anymore. Kelly says, since we're done talking about GH, I'm going to go see you next Sunday. See you next Sunday, Kelly. Anybody else that wants to hop off when we stop talking about GH, I'm going to say hang out for a couple of extra minutes because the likelihood of us returning to GH is pretty high. But also at the same time, I would be really bored if the only thing I talked about on this podcast was General Hospital. Other stuff comes up. Chandra watched The Munsters, Brady Bunch, Three Stooges, Little Rascals. Those were the 70s and 80s. I know somebody who watched that stuff too.
On UHF after school in the 70s and 80s, Channel 36, Channel 44 in the Bay Area, on the UHF. Yeah, right? UHS?
UHV, UHS, I don't know.
Oh, the other dial.
I don't freaking know. I wasn't alive back
dial,
then.
And then there's the bottom dial.
There wasn't dials when I was young. I don't know. She couldn't tell Tad, so she couldn't tell Ted, so she told Tad. Ted is Ned, of course. That's what Julian always called him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because the whole Ned part is something that we have under considered.
Olivia and Ned should be so pissed about this. the Geo thing,
I
I
don't,
think Ned and Olivia should be pissed.
so we've definitely under considered Ned's perspective on this all because he barely have been a part of it. We don't see Wally Kurth anywhere, um, sadly.
Hmm.
So him finding out he's got a secret grandkid this whole time that not only Brooklyn and but those two kept from him.
Right.
I mean, I can see Olivia being annoyed, but I don't know why she'd be necessarily mad, except for being mad about them not telling Ned. Because she's not related.
Olivia is is Geo's grandma as well because she's
Oh,
Dante's
Dante's
mom.
mom. Oh, yeah. See, look at that. No, no, no. See, now that's weird. See, now we're getting into the realm of these family trees are growing into each other too much.
So that's what, and I'm not necessarily pissed because they were never told in the first place, maybe. I don't
Oh,
know, or
yeah.
just not being part of the whole decision. And,
Like
and
not being
I
told,
would,
not being told that Brooklyn was pregnant, not being told that Geo is the kid, and also the third thing being mad at is you should have sent the kid further away.
right? Exactly.
Like what sort of torture did you put this poor child through? Where now he lost his family to gain a family. That's us.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We were here all along. Yeah. And I would think that Olivia, maybe I'm just thinking about this too much. It's like Olivia and Ned have been robbed of the chance of being grandparents together all this time.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. They could have been grandparents together this whole time. Who knows how that would have affected their relationship, though?
Yeah.
Would they have fallen for each other if they shared a grandkid? I don't know. Um, Olivia did the same thing to Sonny, says Chandra.
Indeed.
So maybe she actually has a higher horse to stand on because she has done it and seen the fallout.
Yeah.
See, that's something. See, here's the thing. The one time I was really late in learning my lines in high school play. Right, I was one of the last person to be off book, and then the next time I was directing something, and I'm like, "Hey, you got to be off book by now," and they're like, "Well, you weren't last year, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And my response was, "Yeah," and I saw the consequence to that. Okay, I lived the consequence to that. So if there's anybody qualified to say that you should be off book by now, it's me, because I've already made that mistake of not being off book by now.
Yeah.
Or I'm a hypocrite. I don't know, one of those two things. But similar things out there in Soapland. Hey, Olivia, you kept this kid a secret, so you don't have the right to tell me that it's wrong for me to keep a kid a secret. Or Olivia knows that it's wrong to keep a kid a secret because she's seen the fallout.
I think Olivia, even though it's not the right choice, I think Olivia had a bigger reason.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Lois
the
is...
fact and the safety of I mean, it's no one's benefit to be Sonny Corinthos's kid.
Just talk to Michael.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Then again, imagine Ned not knowing his daughter was pregnant. That means he wasn't around much. Or BLQ hit it really well.
I'm thinking, because BLQ has been in Port Charles and not, and in Port Charles and not. And when she actually had Geo, she just was not in Port Charles.
So this is the magic of the Soras, because she had Geo in that Sora's time.
Yep.
So any and every excuse is totally acceptable over anything that happened during this period of time. Gosh, yeah. And then also, on top of that, too, it's really hard to hold a soap parent to a you're not around standard, because we really are just watching a television show. And as I said before, when it came to like Jason and Danny, we don't see a bunch of Jason and Danny together on screen, because the kids are only there when they're there to push whatever plot they're involved in. They're not just going to hang out unless you're Wiley's age because you're cute.
Right.
So, with all of that said, you're supposed to assume that since Jason is living in the same home as Danny, that they are having dinners together. Danny comes home from school and Jason's like, "So did you learn anything today?" Like, you're supposed to just assume that these things are happening, even though we don't actually see it.
Right.
But you are going to get emotion-filled, "Danny, I can't believe
You're
someone
not
killed
trying to
Mom."
watch when you know, General Hospital is not supposed to be a version of the Truman Show. It's not.
Exactly. You're not watching every moment of these lives. You're watching the most important moments of these people's lives, presumably.
The ones that are drama filled and full of nonsense.
Yes, or when they're talking to somebody else about their drama-filled and full of nonsense lives to catch up the audience with what happened when they weren't watching.
Yes.
Gio doesn't even know he's adopted, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
Laura
Not
reminds
fair.
us.
That's not fair. I've always thought that's not fair.
Didn't Cody say BOQ?
If you make it known from the get-go, from a child's existence, that they're adopted, it will never be a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the likelihood of it being a thing is so minimized.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we're going to necessarily get the big breakdown as to how they kept it a secret, because they kept it a secret a long time ago. And going the blow by blow, well, we were on tour, Ned, and you didn't see this, that, and the other stuff. Oh, that she had the baby while we were backpacking through Europe, or you thought we were backpacking through Europe, but we weren't. I don't think we're necessarily going to get the how we did it, and just more the reaction to the fact that they did. And that's part of the magic of TV. Sometimes you don't have to come up with an exact how. You can just deal with the aftermath.
And Lois and Ned were already split up by then.
Mm-hmm.
Time Brooklyn was a teenager.
Yeah.
They were already Dunsville.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So done. So done. And then I was talking to somebody on Twitter about Cody's perspective on this, because Cody's known that Brooklyn boned Dante and got pregnant from it this whole time and never said anything to anyone ever.
You're right. Soap opera.
It's soap opera, but a couple of things that we need to remember about Cody is, even though he's in the fold right now with all of these old friends, he hadn't been until he jumped out of that plane and literally ran into Britt.
That's true.
He had fallen out of contact with Dante. They saw each other in the bar and was like, Cody? Dante? Bro, I haven't seen you since camp. What's going on? High five.
Yeah.
So he had
decades have gone by.
Decades have gone by. So even if he knew, the first thing you're not going to do is go, oh my gosh, my old friend from camp. By the way, you had a kid with Brooklyn.
Exactly.
So much time has passed that the time for you to say something has definitely expired.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. Chase's reaction is going to be very interesting. True. I think that he's going to try to be very supportive, and Brooklyn is going to be very embarrassed.
Yeah.
And she's going to say, well, you should go find somebody who hasn't had a secret family. You should go somebody who doesn't have baggage like I do. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And ultimately, it'll be okay, because I think Chase and Brooklyn are going to be that couple that can see trouble and stick through it.
You think so?
I think so. Because we gotta lead back up to them having their own Wheezy face on.
I would like that.
Okay? They need their own Wheezy, because that's how we fell in love with Brooklyn and Chase to begin with.
That's true.
So we need a new Wheezy for them.
We do.
We need a new Wheezy. So.
We do.
Yeah.
So, that's pushed. I'm wondering, is Sasha and Jason actually going to have a little relationship? Time will tell.
Time will tell. So Tracy pretty much told Sasha that she needs to figure out what her story is for this baby daddy thing by the time Jason shows up.
Yeah.
Because if she doesn't, then Jason's going to go, I'm not the father of this baby. And then more drama will come. So she really needs to figure this out so she can inform Jason of what needs to happen or whatever it is. So basically, you need to talk to Jason before he comes home. Was the spirit of that, right? So we'll see. We'll see what it goes from there, because I think that we all know that he's going to pretend to be the baby daddy.
Yep.
But the why is going to be interesting. So we got to get to the why.
Yeah. So it's going to be dependent on what Michael says to him while he's in Germany.
Pretty much, right? And I don't think we're going to see any of that.
I don't think so either. No. I think our Michael days are over.
I think they are too.
If we do happen to see a Michael, he's going to be all bandaged up, and you're not going to be able to see.
You're going to see an arm with a bandage on.
You're going to be like the Invisible Man with the bandages on, and maybe a pair of glasses with the bandages.
So, right. Cody kept Brooklyn's secret, but he can't stop running his mouth about Sasha's pregnancy. He's hurt by Sasha's pregnancy, but wasn't hurt by Brooklyn's. He kept a secret for his friend from camp when he was 13, 16, whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
versus seeing Sasha have a baby or be pregnant with a baby mere weeks after he lost her as his girlfriend. And as we have seen from these two characters, this wasn't oh, we've learned that, oh gosh, well, it's a good thing we never did nothing then, huh? High five. No, this was a devastating hurt to both of them. And so he's acting out in jealousy over something that he can't have, doesn't necessarily want to have because we're cousins, but also could have had. And it's really, really complicated for Cody.
Sure, and he hasn't ever felt like that about anybody before. This was new to him. Relationships in the past have been somewhat disposable to him.
Exactly. And I think that what we're seeing is Cody almost having it all.
Yeah.
And then getting
really,
none of it.
There,
I almost had the girl. I almost had serenity. I almost had the perfect life hanging out here with the Quartermains. I almost had it completely changed for me. Then somebody else is offering to buy serenity. Then I find out that Sasha's my cousin. Then I blow the $50,000 that I got from Drew by being dumb with it like I always have been. Well, that's just me then, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now Cody's out there making huge mistakes.
Yep.
But I think that they're, and from an artistic and writing standpoint, I think that they're hitting the nail on the head of who they intended Cody to be originally better now than they did with the whole necklace Brit relationship thing.
Okay.
That's what I think. I think that they're doing it better now because I like it more now.
They're doing it better now too. I think they're doing it better now too. Not every entrance is great, and I didn't think Cody's character entrance was great.
No, but now that they've got it figured out though. I think that this Cody kind of being a mess was what they originally intended. And they talked about it a lot, but we didn't get a lot of great execution.
Right.
But now he's a complete mess.
Yeah, and now he is concretely a Scorpion.
Yes. Based on spoilers, Sasha might run into Sidwell this week.
Ooh, boy. You better watch that Sidwell.
So who's your baby daddy? Who is the father of this child?
Oh, Jason, you better get your hiney back home.
If Sasha is pregnant and sleep with Michael's uncle like Willow, no. See, here's the thing. Drew tried to throw this at Carly, right? Being like, well, Jason's having a baby with the cook, right?
Right. Oh, and
you know who the cook's not married to, Drew? You know who the cook's not married to? Your nephew.
Right? Oh, my gosh. He's such an ass.
I don't see Jason and Sasha's relationship. It's a boring repeat of Sam and Sonny's baby. I would recommend that we hold back. Say whatever you want. I don't care. But I would recommend that we hold back on saying, well, this is boring without ever actually seeing the story. It could be great.
We're gonna see.
And I don't know if it was a repeat.
I'm thinking we have to see some kind. There's got to be some kind of pairing coming on down the chute for us when it comes to Jason, because we are going to clearly see some kind of Carly and Jack. We're going to see some kind of Carly and Jack.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
So because we're going to see a Carly and Jack, we're probably going to see a Jason and somebody.
Oh yeah, totally. Cody's mourning a future that he was excited about that's now died. Perfect, exactly. Melissa. Perfect.
Yes.
Let's see. The East Coaster says, but that doesn't unhurt Sasha, though. Cody isn't interested in unhurting Sasha. He's interested in unhurting himself. And then that's pretty much what it boils down to. He's also kind of sticking it to Sasha for being his cousin. She doesn't deserve it. She absolutely doesn't deserve it, but that's how it's that's how he's reacting to it.
And I don't think he's really all that happy. Not that but whether it be Jason's baby or whoever's baby, I don't think he's 100% happy that she was able to go forward quickly enough to have that kind of relationship to become pregnant.
How come nobody told me I left the Days for Dummies chalkboard up?
It says Days for Dummies.
Well, not anymore because I just changed it, but...
You know why? Because we're dummies.
We're dummies and we're just so gosh darn engaging that nobody cared. Or they said so and I just missed it in the chat.
We're dummies.
No, it doesn't unhurt Sasha. I don't think he's necessarily interested in unhurting Sasha. I think he's trying to alleviate some of the pressure that exists in his own heart. And he's going about it in the way that he's always gone about it.
I think for a lot of times it's a normal reaction as a human to go, screw it, I was doing the right thing and it didn't work anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I can even see Cyrus using some of that as well. Being like, well, I was taking what I'm good at and doing it for the right reasons now. Like, I was always good at killing people, but now I'm doing it to people who need to be killed because they're suffering. What's wrong with that?
Oh my gosh, he is. All that's going to be so sad and so good, though.
It is. It is. Chandra says she didn't want to draw attention to my faux pas.
You're so kind.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. In conclusion, I'm curious to know what's going to happen next with everything that's happening on General Hospital. I know there was some Sonny and some Christina and some this and some that and some this and some that, but hey, we got to see what's going on.
Yeah, we didn't talk about them telling Danny about his mom, but we did talk about kind of the fallout from that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see more fallout.
Yeah, because Rocco did overhear the.
But until they draw their pistols.
Exactly.
There really ain't much to say other than, ooh, potential for these kids. We saw the Days for Dummies boards, but we were like, Felicia, we'll realize it later when it's pertinent to the storyline. Melissa. But you know what, though, Ma? You were totally correct. And I got to give you your props for that.
What?
You were totally correct about the ding-a-ling-ring-a-ding of Cyrus's bell while Dex was getting stabbed.
Yeah.
Because Felicia was like, wait a minute, that bell stopped. Just like you said.
I did.
Just like you said. So congratulations on that. Yeah, we covered it all. Geo, news of GH murders, Sidwell's in town, Wu and Cody, Willow and Drew are just nonsensical. Drew hopped a fence. Good thing I'm a Navy SEAL. Monica has banned this man from the property, and he's still hopping fences to get some nook. And then Willow, will you tell Michael that his children miss him and can't wait for him to come home? Oh, no, I didn't say that. Just his children. Goodbye. What a horrible person. I don't care if you find Willow to be the victim. She is a willing effing participant of all of this crap.
Snow White is not so Snow White,
She is snow yellow.
Snow yellow. About to be snow brown.
Ew, now you're taking it too far, Mother. Oh, gross. They're just so nasty together, and it's so good. Oh my gosh, Ma, I'm now, because before it was like, ugh, and now I'm just like, oh, this is compelling, nasty nonsense. Oh gosh, this disgusting drama. Oh my God, they're both terrible. Oh my goodness, what a villain. What a villain. Oh, I love it. Love it. Trina, Curtis, and Kai only had a quick scene. I hope they flesh out that story more. Actually, Kai's friend had more screen time this week than I think everybody else.
I know.
So I heard that the actor who plays his friend, Brooks or something, I don't remember his name, but his friend, they both auditioned for Kai. Both of these actors did. And then Jens Austin Astrup, I think is how you say his name, won the role, and this other guy didn't. But in classic Mark Teixeira fashion.
Yeah.
I thought he had something. So why don't we still bring him on occasionally to be the friend? And I'm cool with that because I like it when a soap opera is able to do an emerging character. Somebody that kind of comes in a little bit and then gains more prominence and more prominence and more prominence as time goes on. It's a great vehicle. So I'm curious to see where all of it could go.
Yep.
I liked him going head to head with Trina, says Chandra. It's good because now we got the person who's kind of like, ooh, football. Still, right?
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But yeah, not much to mention on the Kai and Trina Curtis front. He was very much like, "You're gonna be all right."
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be all right, Mister. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, he was sympathetic, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna be fine.
But there's gonna be hopefully more to come on all that.
I can only imagine it will be. I think that we need to. I don't see. I'm not a writer, so I don't know how to balance the narrative, right? Because we're spending a lot of time on Cyrus and Sidwell and criminal and crime and this sort of stuff. So I don't know when they will have time dedicated to expanding the other stuff, like the college age stuff, like Trina and Kai.
Right.
I don't know when they will dedicate time to doing that, and I don't know if the show sees the development of their relationship as something that is necessary to have a bunch of time dedicated to. So I don't know. I don't know how to balance that.
No.
Because can you imagine Sidwell has Sasha kidnapped somewhere, and you can't smash cut to Trina and Kai talking about what he's going to do next after his injury? Like, that's from an emotional roller coaster you want to take your audience on? It's a little awkward jump from like, oh my god, Sasha's gonna die, to, oh gosh, Kai's injured shoulder.
No, they would just not. Those scenes wouldn't be on the.
They
same
wouldn't be
day.
on the same day. Like, so you'd have to find a softer day, which would then be seen as a less interesting day. And so it's tough. I don't know how to do that. I can't analyze that. I can't sit here and say, well, this is what each needs to do in order to maximize both of these storylines, because I don't know the answer to that, and I don't think anybody truly has the answer to that either, because it's completely based off of how we feel, and you don't know how we feel until you present it.
Right.
Oh, it's got to be the hardest thing.
It's gotta be.
It's got to be.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
Make Trina an action star. She needs to see what Cyrus is up to. Josslyn's out with a broken leg. She tags Trina in. Trina runs in and tackles Cyrus. I want to see Trina as a baby Jordan, stopping crime and saving lives. Y'all just want a cop show. We should just make this Port Charles PD, the soap opera.
I actually do think that going forward in the next, they don't have to do this tomorrow, but they do need to do it somewhat soon. If Trina's going to indeed stick around, they need to give Trina a clear-cut career that's not the art gallery. The art gallery does not have enough busyness,
not enough drama,
not enough sub-story that could come into it.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to give Trina a job. I don't see her being a lawyer. I see her maybe going into medicine because her mother is a doctor.
Well, to me, it would have to be an intellectual career, not a physical career. I know people loved seeing her jump across the arms into the arms of Spencer and bash Esme over the head and stuff, but the character of Trina to me has been far more cerebral.
I love the idea of making Trina a psychologist.
Hey, okay. That works.
I love that idea.
That works. East Coaster trying to convince me again that the cast is bloated. And again, East Coaster, I gotta say, I don't care. See what I meant about a bloated cast? And that's true. I was just saying, how do we balance all of these stories with all of these people and still make it a compelling episode for the fans? A totally accurate thing to throw back into my face. And my reaction to that, East Coaster, and to you, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hey.
Hi. Is it's possible to balance all of these things if they have the same speed. I was talking more about the speed, the depth of the emotionality, the danger of these stories. You can't blend my shoulder is hurt with I'm kidnapped with a gun pointed to my face. You gotta decrease one or increase the other.
They could do it more in a Days of Our Lives kind of fashion.
A week of Sidwell, a week of the youngins, a week of Cyrus, a
where
week
you
of
just
the
have,
olds.
This person is clearly still in town, but you're just not seeing their story right now.
I mean, that is a method.
And Days of Our Lives does do that and does it successfully. Are the shows alike? No, they are not.
Definitely not.
But I'm just, I don't know.
It's possible. I just don't know the answer. That's the whole thing.
It's possible.
I don't know. Joss and Trina are moving in different directions. Well, that's the beauty of being friends, is you can move in different directions and still be friends.
They are moving in different directions. They are.
I think that it's also important for characters to be able to interact with the cast outside of their best good friend as well.
Yeah.
So, but I don't necessarily see like someone like maybe being recruited by the WSB and then maybe becoming a psychologist. I don't see how that doesn't mean that they couldn't maintain a friendship in the future. It might make it hard to live together.
Yeah, it would maybe would change the dynamics of it, but
But that doesn't mean they couldn't sit down and have brunch.
sure, they have to be Lulu and Maxie kind of
Yeah,
friends.
right. Lulu and Maxie kind of friends, not Brooklyn and Lulu kind of friends.
No, but I think Brooklyn and Lulu will make up, and um, they will be okay, ultimately.
I truly think TJ. I truly think TJ might be gone. I truly think that it's possible, but I don't think that he's just gone. And we're never
Maybe
going to see
they're
Taj
thinking that.
Bello again, and TJ the character is done for. No, if anything, we're going to see him in a couple of weeks where he's telling everybody his decision to leave town.
I think that's yeah. If Taj Bello's leaving, perhaps he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're sure not giving him very much meat ever since this since the whole baby story is
No,
over.
I can also tell you somebody who hasn't had a lot of meat since the whole baby thing has been over either, and that's Molly.
Not really.
She's just been on to flirt with Cody and flirted with Dex once or something.
Yeah. And be there at the Davis house for, like,
A
the
revelation.
week.
Yeah, but she
Oh,
really
yes.
hasn't been doing anything either. We've just seen her
No.
face more often than TJ's.
Well, see, yeah, but
I don't have an explanation for that. I don't know. See, again, this boils down to the things that we don't know, the variables about these real life things that we don't know. I don't know what Taj Bello is up to. I don't know if he said, "Hey, by the way, I need 3 months off when we're done with this to go do something." I have no idea if
you know
they
what?
used up
And
his
I know that,
dates and he's got
and
none left. I don't know.
the credits are on Friday shows, and I never watch it long enough to see the credits. Taj Bello was under contract, so
He would
that
still
give you
be
an
on the
idea.
credits. He would still be on the credits
He would still
now
be.
if he was
Yeah,
still a contracted player.
yeah,
And we generally hear when somebody has been removed from contract as well, and there's been no
pretty
evidence of that
much.
as well. So as it stands right now, he's still employed by General Hospital. We don't know how many dates his contract said. They could have used up all of his dates. He could have had very limited dates because he was a limited character, and they used them up, and now they got to figure it out. They got to re-sign something new. They got to do another month before the clock resets. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Molly flirted with Isaiah too. They used Molly as a chem test.
They kind of did, huh? Now I like Isaiah and Jordan. That's what we
Oh,
need.
they're good together.
Isaiah and Jordan. I like them together. I do. They could take gins down together.
They can. They can. And it's going to be great. And it's
Yeah.
going to be awesome. And Kelly missed all of that. So come back, Kelly. I think that's going to be
The
it.
hot
Kevin can
bottom here.
mentor her. Oh, there we go. That's a great thing to end on. Kevin can mentor Trina. And then we
I
get
like it.
Kevin. And Kevin doesn't need to work because he sold a book. They should
Yeah,
work that into the thing. Oh, Kevin's on a book tour. They should say that.
maybe that's where he's at right now.
They should say that, really, though. Because John Lindstrom probably is on a book tour. But they could say that Kevin is, too. Kevin wrote a psychology textbook, and now he's on a tour.
Trying to sell his textbook to all the
All the
universities
universities.
across the whole
I think he's in Illinois right now, some small town. John
Salem.
Lindstrom. Show up to Salem. That's it. That's it. That's it. Get on the elevator, folks. We're starting to blend our stories. Get on the elevator. Go back down to the first floor. Wave to Jen Sidwell on your way out, because he's a good, happy-go-lucky private citizen of Port Charles who's just I'm into diamonds and mining, and that's it. Nothing wrong about that. I'll figure it out. I'll get a good voice.
He's so sinister.
I'm so sinister. Then Trina would deal with all of her trauma and developing DID, and her alter can be called Sprina. Boom. Chandra. That's good.
I love it.
That's good. All right, out of there into the parking garage where you can get in safely into your car. Because, listen, you're not going to be angeled or mercied. And Sidwell's planning, not acting. So you're fine.
You're
You can
good.
sit comfortably in your car and tune your radios to previous episodes of The 10th Floor, which you can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you can't find it on your favorite podcasting platform, reach out to us on Twitter at 10th Floor GH, and we will send you in the right direction. While you're there, give us a follow to join the Soap Talk all week long. And of course, remember to like this video if you had a good time. Like the video if you like General Hospital. Like the video if you like Jen Sidwell. Like the video if you like Jens Austin Estrup. Like the video if you want to see more Trina. Like the video if you wish Spencer was still around. Like the video if you think that Willow's smart. And like the video if you think Sasha's a damn lead. And then subscribe. And then go spend some time with your families. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll catch you next week right here on the 10th floor. Goodbye, everybody.